Hello everybody, Marilee Norton with eXp Realty again. This little 1 Minute Wednesday webinar is for sellers. So regardless of where you are selling your home, whether it's here in Arizona or in Colorado, my other market, or any other state in the union, probably any other country in the world, all of these things should apply to you when you're selling your home because you want to get the most money you can get, the highest dollar in the shortest amount of time possible. And in order to do that, we need to make sure that your home looks like it's not your home. So let's talk about that. We're going to talk about 5 things that every seller really needs to be aware of and make sure that they're doing when they're getting ready to put their home on the market. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you a 6th point, which is a bonus. So we're going to go through here real quickly because I want to keep this short and sweet. So the first thing that we want to talk about is too much stuff. We all have too much stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sitting in my office. I have this enormous desk. Thank God you can't see it because it's got stuff all over it. I have 2 credenzas back here. I've got the shelf behind me, or whatever that thing is, bookcase thing. I have another credenza to my left. So you can see the edge of my sofa, I think, in this video. And in front of that sofa, guess what? I have a coffee table. So stuff is everywhere. Everybody has stuff, right? So when you're thinking about selling your home, you really want to declutter your home. You want to make sure that go ahead and start the packing process because you want to make sure that people can walk through your home. They don't want to see your stuff. They want to see the bones of your house because they're not there to purchase your stuff. They're there to purchase your house. So you want to make sure that they can see your house. So declutter, get rid of stuff, start packing things early. I always say put it into 3 categories. You're either going to keep it, you're going to chuck it, or you're going to donate it. If you're going to keep it, treat it with respect, pack it up properly. If you're going to donate it, treat it with respect. Pack it up properly. If you're going to chuck it, make sure that it's not something that somebody else can use. You know what I mean? All right, there you go. So next thing you want to do is a deep clean. Now, not everyone can afford to have a professional cleaner or professional cleaning company come in and deep clean their homes. Totally get that. If that applies to you, call up your friends, buy a pizza, and make everybody margaritas. Get the house cleaned. Get the carpets cleaned. Make sure that there is no schmutz in the corners, that there's no dust bunnies floating around the baseboards. Make sure that all of these corners up in the top of the room where the 2 walls and the ceiling come together, people forget that all the time. Make sure you get the broom out and get those cobwebs. When you're looking at your doors, I guarantee you, you may not realize it now, but if you take a good close look at every door in your house, you're going to find handprints around the doorknobs. You want to make sure that's all cleaned up. The other thing is, nobody you know ever looks at your windowsills, but buyers will. So clean your windowsills, clean your window tracks. Vacuum them the best that you can. If your windows are a little bit sticky and having a bit of a hard time opening and closing, once you get that track cleaned out, you can use a little bit of WD-40. If you're using WD-40, it will dissolve some of that schmuck, whatever that stuff is that's always in everybody's windows in the tracks there. So you can use the WD-40 to clean it and then to have the window slide along a little bit easier to open and close. Think about your carpets. Make sure that your carpets are cleaned. Think about smells. Get rid of anything that smells. Cat boxes, cat trees. You want to make sure that those are freshened as best as you can possibly get them. If you cannot make the smell go away, get them out of your house because this is not going to be your house anymore. It's got to be somebody else's house. If you can, do the cat box in the garage. That is fantastic. Because your garage has a whole lot more circulation typically, and the smell dissipates a whole lot faster than your house. Before showings, if you can, if you've got some time, you want to maybe throw some apples or some pumpkin bits into the oven and get that smell going through the house. Chocolate chip cookies are always good, and so is lemon pound cake. All right, there we go. After the deep cleaning, curb appeal. You hear about this all the time. We talk about curb appeal constantly in this business. In Colorado, if you have a dead lawn, consider putting a weed barrier down and getting some mulch on that lawn and strategically placing some nice sized rocks and some planters with perennial plants in them. All right, that will make it look like you meant to not have a lawn, whereas a dead lawn will make it look like you forgot to water the lawn. Okay, so we don't want to look like we forgot. We want to look like we meant to. Remember in that movie when Pee Wee Herman flips over on his bicycle and he jumps up and says, "I meant to do that"? You want to be able to say, "I meant to do that," okay? If you are down here in Arizona, you definitely do not want bark mulch in your yard because here we've got termites. So down in Arizona, you want to make sure that you've got your gravel looks great and that you've got your whatever your drainage is. For your mini washes coming out of your front and your back. Make sure those things look good and they're in tip-top shape. Everything needs to be trimmed. No dead branches, no dead plants, none of that stuff. If it's fall, you want to make sure that you trim back everything that is supposed to be trimmed back seasonally. And make sure that your front of your house looks good. If it needs a fresh coat of paint and you can afford to do it, definitely get that fresh coat of paint on there because that's going to make people go, oh yes, it's a new looking house. Anything fresh and clean is a good idea. All right. All right. So let's talk about your furniture. I just told you what I have in this room. If you've got too much furniture, get rid of it. If you're going to keep it, put it in the garage, put it into storage, put it at your aunt's house, wherever it's going to hang out until you move. You don't need 3 sofas, 2 love seats, and a Barca lounger in a living room. Even if you think you use them all the time, find a way to not do it. Because buyers don't want to see you living in the house. They want to see themselves living in the house. If they can see themselves living in the house, the market value goes up. Market value is the amount they're willing to pay. If they can't see themselves living in the house, they're not willing to pay as much. They may settle, but they're not willing to pay as much. You don't want somebody who's settling. You want somebody who actually wants to be there. So unload furniture if you can. All right. If you've got extra paintings, pictures, and those kinds of things, take them off the walls. Let people see what this house really has to offer. All right. Let's talk about personalization, actually, along those same lines. Nobody wants to invade your space, and we spend a lot of time personalizing our space. We've got the marks on the doorways where Johnny grew up. We've got all kinds of things in our homes that show our kids how old they are. And for even just for safety's sake, take your kids' pictures off the wall. Get rid of kids' pictures. Get rid of Grandma's wedding from 1942. Get rid of anything that doesn't need to be there. Okay, we want to see as much wall as possible. If you've got one piece of art, you want to think doctor's office art. Whenever you go into the doctor's office, the art is very non-specific, very non-specific. You don't want to send any messages that might say, oh, by the way, I still live here. You want to send messages that say, can you see yourself living here? Okay, so keep everything very non-specific. Along with that, when you're doing your furniture, and make sure everything is clean and tidy. If you've got old furniture and you've got to keep it, that's fine. Sofa covers go a long way, and I'm not talking about Grandma's blanket. I'm talking about sofa covers. Go out to Target or to even Walmart and get those covers that actually go over the sofas and the chairs. It'll make it look like a new set of furniture. If Johnny's chest of drawers in his bedroom is getting a little tired looking, take it out back, give it a quick sand, and spray paint it. Make it look clean and fresh again, all right? So there we go. We've got too much stuff. We've got the deep cleaning on the house. We want to make sure that we've got great curb appeal. Take care of the furniture. Make sure it all looks clean and fresh. And then again, take care of that personalization. Make this house as neutral as you can possibly get it. Those are the 5 things that you absolutely must do. Number 6, when you walk around your house, if you find yourself saying, does that work? You already know the answer. If you ask it, then the answer is no. If you are saying to yourself, is that a crappy sofa? Then yeah, it's a crappy sofa. Get rid of it. If it's if you're looking at something and you say, wow, I've got Grandma's urn up on the mantle on the fireplace, is that really appropriate? Well, let me ask you this. Do you want to see somebody else's ashes in the house that you're going to buy? Anything that you wouldn't want to see in a house that you're looking to purchase, take it out of your own home, okay? All right, guys, that's it for this one. Go ahead and move on to any other videos that you like to see. Contact me if you need any help. Thanks so much, and look forward to seeing you again.